Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Let's start with a very simple, basic, yet very important question before we dive into these landscapes of the future, which I would like to share with you. Do you know why you cannot tickle yourself? Simple question. Why can you not tickle yourself? Guys, hello, come on. Sorry? Yes, very good. You know it's coming. Very interesting. The moment I try to tickle myself, my body is programmed to ignore. But the moment you would tickle your neighbor right now, hypothetically, of course, okay. You're a horrible audience, but okay. Hypothetically, academically speaking, if you would tickle your neighbor right now, then you would get an experience. And I think that's incredibly fascinating, that apparently we, together as human species, are made in such a way that some things we can never do alone. We have to sort of connect together in order to make things happen. I like that a lot, as a maker, as an artist, as a designer. And I want to show you some examples today of where people and technology get merged together, when it goes right. Showing bicycle paths which charge at daytime and glow at night, showing the largest smog vacuum cleaner, which right now is cleaning the air in Beijing. But before we dive into that, I thought let's start with an example when it goes wrong, because that's also very important, and we don't really talk about it that much. Let's talk about when it goes wrong. This is when it goes wrong. 2 years ago, in Uzbekistan, people who encounter the escalator for the first time in their lives. And it goes wrong. So, this is when you see we're slightly disconnected between people and technology. And I love this here. She's a bit anxious here, and then she pushes a button, and everything stops, all the great effort for nothing. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have to get used a bit to the new world sometimes. And then like a boss or a CEO or a mayor comes. But I like this one. This is a good leader in that way, because he waits a bit. Look at his white feet. And then he puts it on again. That's leadership. Let them wait a bit and then do it. But then again, it's not that difficult, ladies and gentlemen. What we have to learn is to let go. Just let go. But apparently we find this very complicated. Anyway, why am I showing you this? By the way, I have a 2-hour footage of this, so we can all just, just skip all these projects. No, but it's really fascinating. Why am I showing you this? This is us. This is you. This is me. We know that systems are crashing in terms of economy, in terms of technology, in terms of what we expect from reality. And at the same time, we're also a bit anxious about this new world. Will robots take over our jobs? What does authenticity mean in this over-connected world? And somehow I like that a lot, because it allows us to do things which were unimaginable before. And I think you are more than ever know that in your blood and in your brains. It also starts with the question why or how. How does a jellyfish emit light without battery or solar panel? Or here, these glow-in-the-dark little stars which you had on your ceiling when you were a boy or girl? Yes? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I've been staring at them a little bit too long when I was a boy, and I like it so much. It is light, it is energy-friendly, it is connected to nature. What can we learn from that? So 2 years ago, we started to re-look at this material, which is, I think, maybe 20, 25 years old. And at that time, the material had poisonous radion in it. It only works for 30 minutes. It's been sort of taken from mines in Africa, not good stuff. So we went back to the lab, made it more durable, more sustainable, more glowing, and started to connect it with Van Gogh, the famous Dutch painter. And this was a request for the International Van Gogh Foundation, who wanted to celebrate his 125th anniversary. And for a specific location in Eindhoven, a small town nearby Amsterdam in the Netherlands, wanting to make something which would bring back this cultural heritage. And in a way, what I did is I started to connect these two worlds. This is a bit how my brain works. Sometimes life is simple, usually not, but... And this is what we made 10 months later. a bicycle path in the area where Van Gogh actually lived and worked in 1883, charging at daytime, glowing at night, hinting towards a future which is energy friendly and linking local tradition. And you can visit this every night for free if you're in the neighborhood. Short movie.
It's just like we're laying on a starry night.
And we launched this 2 years ago in collaboration with an infrastructure company, which is usually very, very conservative, this industry. But the CEO realized they had to invest in new ideas to survive. And it was great to work together and to sort of launch this and to drop it into the world. And suddenly something happened that, to be honest, we didn't even expect it. Suddenly a bicycle path became world news. And that was a really weird experience, because usually when you talk about mobility and innovation, it is always about the car. It can be sexy and glamorous and billions of R&D, but we forget about the roads, the infrastructure, the things we see while we're actually driving. And by testing, by showing that it's possible to make sort of safer and beautiful landscapes, two worlds started to sort of wake up in a way. The world of the heart capital, so the sheikhs from Qatar, which started to call how much for 10 kilometers, which was fun. But also the world of the soft capital. This is a children book which was sent to us a couple of weeks ago. And in that children book, it's a Dutch book, so I'm not sure if you can read it, but they follow the life of Van Gogh. And in that book, they visit the bicycle path. You see here? They made a little copycat. So we have a whole new generation of children thinking that bicycle paths, light-emitting bicycle paths, are completely normal, yes? No, but they will point at a, for us, normal bicycle path and say, hey, mama, this one doesn't work. So, yeah, no, but really, so it's interesting how design, innovation can change what is and what is not normal, yes? And that changes very rapidly, fascinating. And also applying it to highways right now.
While improving road safety, and will debut mid-next year. Glow-in-the-dark road markings use photoluminescent paint, which charges during the day and can light roads for up to 10 hours at night. The temperature-responsive road paint shows ice crystal patterns when temperatures fall below zero, to warn drivers of slippery roads. Interactive lights light up when vehicles approach and dim as they pass by, saving energy when there is no traffic on the road. Wind lights get energy from roadside pinwheel generators. They light up using the draft produced by passing vehicles. Induction priority lanes are layered with induction coils under the tarmac to recharge electric cars as they drive. The various technologies will be introduced in the Dutch province of Brabant starting mid-2013.
Yes. Eat that, Elon Musk. So sorry, I had to do that. I'm sorry. Okay, we move on. Shit, okay. So the connectivity between the object and the landscape, I think this is fascinating. And of course, this is not just me. I would have loved to have a sort of 3D printer plugged in my neurons, that everything I imagine automatically sort of magically appears. But of course, this is not the case. There are light years between the dream and the thing, between the beauty in your brain and the bullshit you have to go through in order to make it happen. And this is okay. This is life. This is who we are. But this is here in the middle. You see it. Rotterdam, harbor city in the Netherlands, our dream factory, where I have my team of designers, process managers, engineers, working, prototyping, failing, upgrading. So create a place where you can experiment, where you can learn. Super, super important. And I think also for me, this is not just about art or being high-end or being interesting, having interesting conversation on a wedding party. No. It is the new economy, more than ever. This is a summary of the World Economic Forum, the think tank in Geneva, which made a lot of interviews with smart, brilliant people, asking what are the top 10 skills you and I need to become successful. And this is very interesting. This is not about money, or it's not about being really good in C++ coding, although that would be really nice. But look at that. Creativity, number 3. Critical thinking, number 2. And number 1, problem solving. All the things a robot or a computer is not really good at yet. And so this is incredibly fascinating, that on one hand we will live in this over-digitalized, over-connecticized, over-Internet of Everything-sized little world, where technology, passive or interactive, is connecting us. But at the same time, it might mean that our human skills are becoming more and more important, that you and I will go to a museum even to train our creative thinking. Creativity might be our biggest capital in that way. Incredibly fascinating and an optimistic approach when we look at this new world. It all starts with the question, why, or how? Why does a jellyfish emit light, like the Van Gogh path I showed you? Or why do we accept pollution? It's really weird. This is from my room 3 years ago in Beijing. The below image is on a Saturday, and I look on the 32nd floor outside the city, and life is okay. Life is okay. The people, the cars, the birds, it's a city living. But holy shit, on a Wednesday, the whole city is covered with smog, with pollution. I cannot even see the other side of the street. A city so disgusting, you almost start to smoke again just to feel healthy. They were really not good. So, and yes, of course, there's a China central government investing millions and millions of US dollars in their war on smog. And it's not just Beijing which is having trouble, Mumbai, Los Angeles, Paris, you name it. Every big city, in its desire for progress, in its desire for innovation, has to deal with side effects that you and I never imagined. And pollution is one of them. And so, in a weird way, I became very sad, yes? This is not the new world. This is not the optimistic new world you and I are talking about today. No, this is George Orwell. Machines are killing us. We live 2 years shorter. Children cannot play outside anymore. So what can we do to fix that? In a way, I became inspired by Beijing smog. And I remember, I'm the son of a math teacher, so I've been sort of surrounded with these sort of little facts of life stories for my whole life. You know, when you have a plastic balloon, and at these boring children parties, yes? And you polish it with your hand, it becomes static, yes, static electrified. It starts to attract your hair. And even as a child, I was always so amazed by that. It's sort of a gift from planet Earth, a gift from Mother Nature. What can we learn from that? And so 2 days later, under the shower, I like, okay, so what if we would use that principle and literally build the largest smog vacuum cleaner in the world, which sucks up polluted air from the sky, and then cleans it, and then releases the clean air. So we have parks and playgrounds which are clean again. And 1 year later, after a lot of yes, but it's not allowed, you can never do it, blah, 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 we built the first one. So it sucks up 30,000 cubic meter per hour in the top, cleans it on the nano level, so the PM2.5, PM10 particles, and then releases actually the clean air in areas around it. So we have parks and playgrounds which are 75% more clean, and at the same time using no more electricity than like a water boiler, like 1,000 watts. Short movie. Pollution. It's really weird that we accept it as something normal and take it for granted. It's like a spaceship. I wanted to create a place where citizen makers NGOs and governments can experience clean air. A bubble of clean air, where people can think, meet and work together how to make a whole city smog-free. It's a place created by the largest air purifying in the world, which can travel, a smog-free tower. In the future, waste should not exist. By putting the captured smog particles under high pressure, we create smog-free rings. And so by sharing a smog-free ring, you donate 1,000 cubic meters of clean air to the city where the Smokefree Tower is in. Opened by the mayor of Rotterdam, we create a place where people can smell the difference, where they can feel the difference, where they can share the difference. And of course, one tower will not solve the whole problem for a city, of course not. But I really believe that we should start bottom up, and we should learn in that way. And also, when a project like this, when you start it, this was typically something we initiated ourselves, because clients, in a weird way, clients are always a bit stupid, yeah. No, but they are, because most of them already, yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm aware I'm not making friends, but no, but most of them want something which they already know, which for me is boring. So the only way is that you start it yourself. Nobody would have called me 3 years ago and said, Daan, can you make a smog-free tower for me? So you just start, and at the same time you learn. This is Beijing smog. This is the stuff we were sucking up from the skies. And this is incredibly disgusting. This is in our lungs right now, yes? So if you live next to a highway, it's the same as around 17 cigarettes per day, yes? Without the pleasure of the nicotine. So, no, but really, it drags you down. And at the same time, we realized we should do something with this. Waste should not exist. Waste for the one should be food for the other. Think as a circle, think as a network. But also, at the same time, during this project, we had a problem. We had a budget problem, a money problem. Because a lot of mayors were interested all around the world, but at the same time very hesitant. They were like, yeah, but if we support this project, everybody will know that we are a polluted city. And I'm like, yeah, well, believe me, they already know. Yeah, it's like, hello, but okay, so we had a problem, we had a gap. And we realized that, okay, so shit, like what do? 42% out of this exists out of carbon. And carbon under high pressure, you of course get diamonds, yeah. So that was the inspiration to compress it for 30 minutes by hand and making smog-free rings. And so by sharing a ring, you donate 1,000 cubic meters of clean air to the city where the tower is in. Launched the Kickstarter campaign, thousands of people pre-ordered this, and even more important, prepaid this. So the finance we made with the I think I have one here, by the way. Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to propose, but you can show it. If you can show it around. I want it back, but you can show it around. And this is really great, because it also becomes shareable. If we only focus on technology, people get lazy, but it becomes shareable. People started to wear it, like an earring, or here. Does anybody recognize this guy? Yeah, Prince Charles? Yeah, maybe. Okay. Anyway, so the cufflinks. So that was really cool to make it sort of shareable in that way. And after 14 months of pushing, negotiating, 5-hour-long dinners with China's central government, they have approved the project. This is last week in Beijing, the largest version that we have, providing clean air, the dream of clean air for everyone. And so this is very interesting, because by showing that the beauty, in a way, of clean air, that's how you can connect NGOs, clean technology, pro-bicycle campaigns to say, okay, how can we work together to make a whole city smog-free? And this will tour around the China, and after that go to India, Kazakhstan, well, you name it. The Netherlands, where I'm coming from, is a very particular country, because most of it is below sea level, yes? So without technology, we would literally drown. we would die a horrible death. And in the Netherlands, but it's quite interesting because it also says something about our identity, about our tradition. We don't move to Germany, yes? No, we stay. And we use creative thinking. Yeah, no, that was also an option, yeah. But we stay. We use creative thinking and technology to make our country livable in a way. But sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget. This is waterlicht, commissioned by the Dutch government, a combination of LEDs and lenses showing how high the water level would be if we stop. Our world is changing, global challenges, the rise of the sea level. If you live in Miami, you better believe it, because the water is coming, whether you like it or not. And this shows the impact of a world changing.
Best wel spooky. Spacey. Ja.
Wat ik het gevoel dat ik erbij krijg is een beetje onderwaters. Dat je onder een laag zit.
Ja, best wel mooi, vind ik.
With the waves above us. And it's magnificent.
Ik weet natuurlijk dat we beneden zeeniveau zitten, maar ja, zoals je het zegt, zou dat niet zo fijn zijn als ik dit opeens over me heen ga voelen. Nee.
So we launched this at the Museum Square in Amsterdam. First night, a couple of thousand people showed up. It was sort of like a guerrilla action. And some people were really scared, because they experienced the floods in 1953 or in 2002, and they were scared. They wanted to go home. Sharing it on social media, #Waterlicht. And on the third night, 60,000 people showed up. And it was really, and at the same time, it was funny because I was abroad and the project manager, Nienke, he started to text me, Daan, it's going too well. And to be honest, I got a bit annoyed. I'm like, what do you mean it goes too well? That doesn't exist. She's like, Daan, there are 60,000 people standing here right now. P.S. We have a permit until 5,000 people. So some calls had to be made. But okay, this is the good thing about being Dutch. They always figure it out. But what was beautiful when I was there the first night and actually walking through the crowd and hearing the people talk, they were talking about water, yes? About the danger of water, like what I said before, but also about the possibility. Can we harvest energy from the change in tide? Can we make floating cities? And so for a few moments, people moved beyond their first horizon, yes? Liking the Facebook, paying the rent. But they focused on the third horizon, yes? On what is there to come, what makes us happy, how is the world changing, what do I want to do in that way? And I think that is sort of the importance of these kind of environments. I was talking to the person, Jennifer, the X-Prize lady. Yes, am I pronouncing it right? Yeah. It was funny because there was a quote of this famous quote of Marshall McLuhan, which is sort of bouncing in my brains in the last couple of months. On spacecraft Earth, there are no passengers. We are all crew. And I think this is incredibly fascinating. We are not just consumers. We are not. We are not just consumers. We are makers. We make decisions, we make inventions, we make new dreams. And I think if we approach the world with this kind of mentality, there is still a whole new world to be explored. And I'm looking forward to work with all of you in order to make this happen. All right, thanks. Thanks.